Welcome. Today we're talking about something most people never think about until they get denied for a credit card or a loan. How banks actually score you behind the scenes. I call this the relationship advantage. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to use it. Here's the pattern I see all the time. Someone opens a checking account at a bank. That's it. They cash their paycheck, pay a few bills, and never think about that bank again. Then, 6 months later, they apply for a credit card or an auto loan with that same bank and get denied. They walk away confused. Here's what's actually happening. Banks run an internal relationship score. It's separate from your credit score. The more products you have, checking, savings, certificate loans, the stronger the internal score gets. One account in, one transaction out, to the bank, you're basically a stranger. So the first principle is simple. More products equal more trust. Checking is the starting point, but it's rarely enough on its own. Add a savings account, and you've doubled your footprint with that institution. And a certificate of deposit or a credit card, and now you're someone the bank actually knows. And that opens the door to bigger things like higher credit limits. Step 1, and this is foundational. Open the right tier of checking account. Most banks have a standard checking account and a higher tier, sometimes called flagship or elite. Here's the trade-off. The flagship tier usually requires a minimum balance. In our example, $1,500. If you can keep that balance and there's no monthly fee, if you do that. If you can't, you'll pay a modest fee around $15 a month to keep that flagship status. I'd rather pay the small fee and have the bank see me as a flagship client than sit in a basic account and blend in with everyone else. Step 2 is almost too easy. Opening a savings account. The minimum to get started, just $20. Here's why that matters so much. The savings account becomes a second product on your file with this bank. And here's the part most people don't know. When you go apply for credit somewhere else, that other lender can often see that you have an open positive savings account at another institution. They can't see the balance. They just see that it's open and it's positive. That's a quiet green light during underwriting, even if there's only $20 in there. Step 3, open a small CD, a certificate of deposit. Let's use a real example, $250 for 10 months. Now let's be honest about the math. That $250 sitting in a checking might earn you about 15 cents over that time. In savings, maybe 25 cents. In a CD, maybe $3 to $4. It's not life-changing money, but that's not really the point. The point is, you've now added a third product to your relationship with this bank, and you've built the habit of putting idle money to work, even in a small way. Step 4 is one of the most overlooked. Become an authorized user on someone else's account. Ideally, one with a credit limit of $5,000 or more. Here's why this is so important. Banks look for what's called comparable credit before they extend a large credit line. If the only card on your file has a $300 limit and you walk in asking for a $20,000 credit card, That gap is just too wide. The bank has nothing to compare it to. But if you're an authorized user on an account with a $5,000 plus limit, suddenly that $20,000 ask doesn't look so far-fetched. You've given the bank a reference point. Step 5. Set up a direct deposit into that account. This is the clearest signal a bank can get. It's not just this person has money sometimes. It's this person has money coming in on a schedule from a real source. When you eventually ask for a loan or a higher credit limit, that recurring deposit history is exactly what underwriting wants to see. It tells them there's a steady cash flow they can plan around. Step 6 is about protection, not strategy. Many banks offer an optional overdraft protection service. It'll cover you up to a certain amount, often $500, if something posts before you expect it and you come up short. I want to be really clear here. This is a safety net for the occasional surprise, not something to lean on regularly. The whole goal of everything we talked about so far is to build a profile that never needs this. But it's good to know it's there. Step 7. Before you apply for anything big, pre-qualify first. A lot of credit unions let you sign in as a guest and check your approval odds. This is called a soft pull. It does not affect your credit score. This is different from a hard pull, which is a formal application. That one shows up on your credit report and can affect your score whether you're approved or not. So before you go in and apply for that big, before you go in and apply for that big credit line, use the soft pull, see where you actually stand. It lets you target the institution where you're most likely to succeed instead of guessing and taking a hit on your credit for nothing. Here's the big picture takeaway. None of these 7 steps are one-time hacks. They're habits. Flagship checking, savings, a CD, an authorized user, direct deposit, overdraft protection as a backstop, and pre-qualifying before you apply. Each one adds a little more depth to your relationship with that bank. And that depth is what shows up months later as a higher internal score, a better offer, or an approval where there used to be a flat out decline. The goal isn't one product or one approval. It's a profile that gets stronger every single time a bank looks at it. A little about me. I'm Leandre Boone, founder and CEO of Buckeye Financial LLC. We're an independent insurance and retirement planning firm, and our whole mission is built around one idea: empowering everyday people with the same strategies that have always been available to the top 1%. Starting with the basics, like how your bank actually sees you. Before this, I played defensive back for the Ohio State Buckeyes, and I was part of the 2002 BCS National Championship team. That mindset, defense wins championships, is exactly how I approach financial protection. You build your foundation first, and everything else gets easier. So, here's my invitation to you. Everything we covered today, you can start this week. None of it requires special access or a perfect credit score, just a plan and a little consistency. If you like help putting this together for your specific situation, scan the QR code on the screen to book a free retirement protection review. There's no cost, there's no obligation. Let's build your banking relationship strategy together. Thanks so much for your time today, and have a good one.